Hello everybody. In this video we are going to consume our first API. I'm actually really excited because it's a real world scenario. So we're actually working with silly data, we can say that, but it's more similar as actually the way how you consume an API later and you can use in your code. I want to guide you through the documentation on that particular API because every API is actually different. Later during the semester we are actually going to develop our own APIs, but for now we're going to use a couple of those APIs. In this video we're going to create a superhero database system where pretty much you can actually look for a specific superhero, list all of those superheroes, and then see the details. That's pretty much the idea. And the API that we're going to be using is SuperHero API. This is a free API that we can actually implement. It have a really simple base URL. You need to make a call to this one with an access token, and the access token is going to be generated when you log in through your Facebook account. So you need to log in through your Facebook account in order to see that specific access token. So I recommend to everybody to do it and get it from there. I don't want to do it because I actually want to keep my secret key hidden from this video. So let's actually proceed. I'm already in my folder. I will create a new view, create superheroes, let's actually call it like that. We have a manual select. We are going to keep bubble. We are going to put the router, Vuejs, and CS preprocessor, and keep it the linter there. So yes, we need to have the history mode, the set with breather, Linux save, and dedicated. And we just wait for this actually to finish. Now they just finished. We just go to the folder and we open Visual Studio Code in there, and that actually been open in my new folder. So I have this already here. Perfect. Let me just maximize it. Let me do some kind of cleanup. So let me start doing my cleanup. So the first thing I actually would like to do, I will add on my configuration through here. Now I have a new one, the command angel, so I'm actually adding that one too. And let me create my reader rc.js. These steps are completely optional, always remember that. It's just because I like it to have it like that. Perfect. So now let me just go to my bubble config. My package JSON is there. My application view, I will remove the styling. I will skip my router view pretty much with my app, the main div actually. Perfect. We're going to remove the about. We're going to remove the component from hello world and pretty much the whole content. Put a simple h1 called hello there. Our store is going to be saved. Our router, we are going to remove the about page that we are not using. There you go. We're going to be removing the hello world. And remove the logo. A simple yarn serve to verify that everything is running. Wow. Oh, the main GS. Where is my main? There you go. I save this. Let me try again. Okay, everything is running. If you're having issues here or you're having like an error doesn't allow you to continue, let me just revert these changes back. Oh, I can. Well, you can actually just run yarn lint. Yarn lint will pretty much save and lean your system the most I actually can. So what I have in my Visual Studio Code, I have that by default. That's why I use out like those double quotes. When I save it, it gets converted to single quote. It's just a nice trick. So probably we'll make a video later for this, but for now I will leave it like that. So let me actually serve it. And let's see if it's actually working. Yeah, everything is there. So we can actually clean up pretty much. Let me just close this one because I'm going to add my Tailwind configuration. With the minimal one. Perfect. And I will be adding yarn, oh my god, -d my custom forms. This is going to have like a better input, more likely. Okay, before we actually start it, I just need to go to my Tailwind configs and change my plugins to require my custom form pretty much. Everything should be fine. If I do a yarn serve, there you go. Everything working as it's supposed to. So let me just commit all this, add it, Tailwind. So let me start working on. What I want to do here is something really simple. So I want to have like a main page with a simple, how can I say it, navbar and a search item, search input box where you can actually type the name of your superhero, and then a list, a specific list, will be rendered with those superheroes. When you click one particular one, you can actually see that detailed page. So it's actually just a 2-page section. So it's going to be the primo, the home, and let's actually create the other page. So let's go to view, new file, details.view. Actually, let's call it hero because it's our hero web page. So let's do a base name, hero details. Let me remove my styling because I don't need it, and do hero page. I go to my router, copy this over, hero, and copy this over, hero. Very much. So that means that I can go for /hero, do the hero page, and so this is pretty much what we're going to be doing. It's a single path application with 2 different hero elements. So let's actually start looking at the APIs. Something really cool at the API is going to actually get a specific ID, and that will get us the information for one particular character. We will see the JSON information, we will see everything that is sent back to us. So we can see, for example, this case is actually Batman. It gives you some name, power stat, biography, place of birth, appearance, some where we work, some connections, and the image. So we have pretty much everything that we need. We need to that image in order to have like like a background layout and some basic information is going to be pulled up. That's it. Also, there's a capability to do a search, so we can actually search for somebody and we'll give you pretty much like an array, and that array has several elements that we can actually go through and verify that those actually working. So that's pretty much what it doing. So let's start creating our main app, and I will try to go a little bit faster. I don't know how faster I'm actually going to go, but we need to be able to move along. So let's, you know what, let me just move this over here, and I will go to my main application. I will do my class equal background teal, because I want to have this color there, and my minimum height is going to be my screen size. So everything is teal now. Cool. I will create a new file. It's going to be my navbar. Let's actually reinvent the navbar. I always reinvent it every time in every video, but in this case let's keep it something really simple. It's just a nav element that have flex items, just justify between, and just have a router link. Pretty much the router link have an image with the logo, and it have a superhero name, SuperHeroFinder. It's pretty much the name of the application that we're doing. So let's go to the main app. Let's do the script element. Let's have the name for application. Let's import navbar, and let's actually have it here, big components navbar, and now we can actually have my navbar over here on the top. We will save this. We have the SuperHeroFinder. So if we go to the hero page, perfect. We're in the hero page. If we click on the title, we're going to send it back to route. So that's what I actually needed or wanted. We saw that the logo is not there. So one of the things that I actually like to do, I actually like to go to flat icon or any other website and download a specific action that you like. So yeah, I'm actually already did that. So I will copy it from my note, and let me actually move this around. So let me do copy from my source to, let me see, to Word, stc, Spring. So I already copied that, and if I go to my public folder, I copy these 5 icons I get. From there, I go to delete this one, I don't need it. And in my index file, I will do a couple of things. I will change my title to SuperHeroFinder. I will change it here, I will change it here. It's easier to have it like that. And my icon, instead of .icon, is going to be .png. Let me save it. And now we have it. We have that little 5 icon at the top, and my icon is here. So the application starts looking a lot better. So that's pretty much what I have there. So the navbar is working as it's supposed to. So let's actually continue working with the home view. And what we need to have is a specific input file. Let me actually type it. So we have a label, and in this label we have an input, type text, perfect. It's really simple there. So in my label, what I want to have is my class block, there you go, with a padding of the X on the left and right with 2, padding on the top of 1. In the medium screen, we have a bigger padding and a bigger padding on the top. So we can actually have that there. Perfect. If we do inspect element and we change the sizing, we see that that goes pretty much to the top. That's the behavior that I wanted to have. We'll still need to add a couple of stuff, but I have an extra character that is not supposed to be there, and it's this one. Cool. So that's pretty much what we're doing there. We are creating a responsive design. And now that we have that, our input needs to have a couple of classes. Let me just copy these classes over. And this is coming from the form, extra form layout that we added from Darwin, the form input, and then put in a margin tab, type block, and it's pretty much the full size. So that's pretty much everything. So you will see the behavior, so that get rendered to the top and get a little more in the middle, depending on the sizing. It's what I needed. And of course we need to have a placeholder, such as superhero, for example, Thor. And that's it in that place. Perfect. Now we need to start adding some information in here. What I want to have is when I type something, give me some kind of message that star need to be rendered. So let me actually, where I have it, I will go to my store. I will do some changes to my store. My state is going to be like this. So I will have the list of heroes. It's like an array. And the loading is going to be false, and the not found is going to be false. So the loading will help us to have some kind of like a little animation when something is loading, and we're keeping that saved in the state because sometimes it's easier to have it like that. And if something is not found, I want to show a specific message or a specific image about that not found. So let me remove those one. Let me add my getters. My getters actually are really simple. So get heroes. It will return the heroes. When one particular hero, I will find that hero by ID. Very much what I'm doing. Loading and returning that, and they get not found, I'm returning not found. My mutation is actually really simple too. I just pretty much set in the hero, set in the loading, and set in the not found. That's it. And my actions are the ones that are going to be a little more tricky. So these two actions, the basic one, that doesn't require that much. And I will have another action called set heroes. And let's keep it simple for now. And the set heroes, what it's going to be doing. And let me copy something like this. Because we are going to look for a specific item, and that's going to pretty much render. And let's put like data in here. Let's just keep it simple. And where are we committing? Setting heroes with that particular data. Yeah. Let's keep that consistency for now. A really simple store. We have 3 different variables, several load getters, one getter for loading and not found, but for the hero we have 2 different getters, one to get everybody and one to filter or find a specific hero by ID, the mutation to change that, and the action to commit our mutation. Those are really simple Vuejs elements. And with all this, we can actually start playing around a little bit. You know what? I want to have my search item. Let's put another one. So whenever I'm searching something, it's actually going to be here. Let me get my search item. That's going to be pretty much just get my search item by itself. Setting search item. Something really simple, and set search item, and let's keep it something simple as this one too. Yeah, pretty much. So I just create a new one there. So now that I have my store, I can start working around and playing in my home view. So in my home view, I have this one. I want to start working with a specific label. So I need to have my input. We have a bind. Well, let's actually do something different. So we have a B model, but it can have a data element that is a bidirectional. So it just keep like in sync it whenever we need. In this case, we have a computed, and I have my search item. It's going to return my store.getters.search item, and we're going to bind. The difference with the bmodel and bbind is that bbind is just one way. So actually let's do a value. The value is going to be my search item. Let's see that works. Oh, value need to be binded, of course. There you go. It's empty for now because my store and my store, this one is empty. I'm looking for something in my store. Ooh, didn't like it. Let me see what I can do about it. Give me a minute. I was messing around here. So my getter, if I go to my store, my getter is actually called get search item. So I need to change it to get search item, and we said my value is actually something. If we do hello, that one get saved there. So we now saw that we can actually read it. So in the input, whenever you finalize to type in something, you can actually create a new event, and that event is the change event. And that what we're going to be doing is creating a change. Whenever something changes, we need to update that. So let's start creating that. So probably we can go to our home, and when my input change, we're going to set the search item, and in order to create it, it's going to be in my method. I will have that particular method with a value. So the change is going to send a value by default. We don't need to define it over here, and we can actually do console.log the value. Let's see if that's actually working. So I go to my console. Let's do something, enter. That get saved somehow. We have like a allow information. Cancelable. Yes, we call the reactivity. It's actually been there. So let me see if I can do something like dot value. No, we can't. So let me actually do view, input, change, send value. Okay, we can something like this. I don't like it. We can have a model, probably. You know what? Yes, let's do the model. So let's actually not save it like that, like not getting the value of the element. Let's actually have a bit data, and let's do a temporal search that is by default empty, and we're going to do a b model equal to that. Let's see what happened. B is not defined. That's okay. And we do this dot temp search. Yeah, it doesn't allow me to do that. We cannot have the value and the model at the same time. So we can actually what we can do about it. Let me think a little bit. Let me pause the video again, and I will come back to you guys. What? Let me just go back to my original approach, and you will say over there like probably what I'm making you write things and then deleting. That's sorry for that. I just want to make sure that we have the best way of doing things. So we can do target.value maybe. That work? Let me see. There you go. Nice, we are able to get it. So this actually isn't like the whole element view, so we can actually select with the target element and get the value by itself. We can actually use it. Now that we know how to use that value, this is actually going to be event, I believe. So we are triggering that event and we send it the value. So the only thing that we're going to be doing is this dot store dot dispatch, and we're going to dispatch something about it, and we're sending that particular value. And the patching is going to be set search item, and send the search item over there, and that should be enough. Let me go to my view. Let me see my Vuejs. Load in the state. Search item is empty. I put something there. Enter. My search item is something now. So I'm able to actually update it. Is what I needed. Why I needed like something like that? Because I want to have a specific element, and that specific element I already have something similar here, and it's going to be something like this one. So after my labels, that one, I will create another div element that will get like a bunch of stuff in there. I will have something like this. So with this, perfect. So now we'll be able to save it in the store and then get rendered over here. So hello store something else. Perfect. So we're able to get those results. What I want to have this is just show it if we have a search item. So by default, it should be empty. And that one, it doesn't allow me. Perfect. Cool. This is what I needed. Showing that real big text only when we are searching for something. And after we're searching for something, we just need to have some kind of cart. So let me just create my cart element. Name is going to be cart without the styling, and I'm a cart. Let's put this background white. Cool. So in my element, after in this particular div, we can do a class flex column. We can do flex wrap, like everything need to be like a new line if it's required. And after that, we are going to have like justify center and item center. Very much. And we don't see beneficial, something in there. Okay. And this one I will add. If I already have that one, let me just create a really background red 500 just to verify that yes, it's getting everything. So we can actually do text center. Perfect. So with this one, we're getting like the full sizing that we need. Cool. And after that, I want to create another. Actually, let me import my card. So let's do a v import my card element, and that's going to be in my big component, my card, and let me just put a simple card without anything there. So I'm a card. Nice. If we do my card to be a class of 1/4, Let's see if that actually works. Yes, it does. And I can use B for n in 10 with my key of n. Remember that whenever we repeat something, we need to have a different key. So I have those different cards in there. Or we're getting saving as columns. So let's grab this in a div element. And we have this class actually to be here. And it's going to be a flex. And flex grab. Probably, and let's do a padding too. Actually, the padding need to be in those ones. Class in the child element. Padding of 2. Probably a margin of 2. Margin of 2. No. Yes and no. This actually need to be full. And this need to be 1/4. Yes. Let me remove my margin. Okay, my card is getting rendered. Let me change my cards a little bit. And let's actually have a padding over here. Let me see if I can do that. So padding 2. Margin 2. Yeah, it got broken. So let me actually have a padding of 2. And then inside that, I will have another div. And this div will have the class background white. Let's see if that works actually. There you go. Now I have my different layout that I needed. And I want to make a little bit responsive, so let's work on that. Let me put this a little more like, yeah. So what I want to do with this card is something really cool. So you actually go to Tailwind, CSS. We will know, or we will saw, it will look for card. Actually in the screencast. He have a really cool card in there. As you can see, that card getting like an image in the background, right? And that little layout on the top. So I want to mimic that that layout. I actually like it. So I want to start doing my cards look a little bit like that. So for that, I need to have a image placeholder. Perfect. Yeah. And I can just use it something like this. If I get something like this, I get that particular image that I needed. If I do something with text, probably. Nice. So on text it's going to be hello there. Nice. And let's do more traditional. It's going to be 800 by 600. I like it. So we're going to use this as a placeholder image. So let me actually check my notes to verify my card. And this card I have my, actually what I want for this card, I have this pattern over there. Let me just remove all this. I will have my router link because remember I want my card to be actually a link. And for now it will be sent to my root element. Yes. And it will have several classes. I already have some classes over there. Let me see if those actually going to work fine. Okay, it's not working the way that I'm thinking that was working, but those are already there. Let me get rid of this and we can see that later. Actually, can get rid of all this. Yeah. Yeah, I can get rid of everything for my router link. So everything's going to be wrapped in my router link, and my router link will have a class of background white, just to verify. Yet it gets rendered. So let me just remove it and have it like that. Cool. So let's actually have a full width, and let me do a background white. So this is going to be a flex element. Perfect. Let me remove now my color because I know this actually getting what it's supposed to. And in my router link I will have an image. So probably inside my router link I have something like this. Okay, and in there I can do my image, and my image is going to be for now this particular image. So my images are there. Perfect. I just want to make sure that my image, let's do hero, just to have the alternative text. And in my image what I want to do is a full size with light for the object. It's going to be a cover, rounded, and a little bit of shadow. So we have those rounded corners, a little bit of shadow in there, and it looks pretty neat. Now that I have those images in there, I will have this really weird element, and this is just a relative with a padding of the x and a margin of negative margin of 16. And what I want to do here is create another div element, and this one will have the text. This div element is rounded too, and it has the background white, so you will see that it's actually getting there. Perfect. So it's doing what it's supposed to, and after we have that, actually I can have an h4 probably with hero name. We have the hero name over there. Cool. And we can have some kind of separate div with some kind of description. We have the hero name, we have the description in there. Cool. And I want to have what else? Yes, this span element is pretty neat. So let me just copy all the span element, and I will get rid of some extra things that I have there. And I will get rid pretty much all this, and I will do copy actually this section. We are going to get back to this later, and let's put over this over here. Something. So we have that little like field in there with that real information, and it starts looking a little bit better, just a little bit better. Let me try to remove this one. No. And what I want to do now is I actually want my card element to be a little bit bigger that we can actually see over here. So we are getting over the card image, but I want this to be a little more as this layout, like it's a little bit smaller. So let me see if I can get that. Able to do it. So what I did is this margin bottom and padding X, I was have it only for the image. What I did, I have it for the whole element, and my images have a padding bottom of 5/6, very much. And you can see something like this. You will see the bottom of the image, something like that, and we'll have the hero name and the description. And it gets repetitive whenever we need it. So you can actually, I'm really happy, I will say, with my card for now. Let's save everything, and sorry to be that generate. We're doing a lot of changes, so just to not lose our progress, let me close all the extra things that we don't need, and let me go back to here. So if I change this to 5, we have only 5 there, it's working fine. If I had that to 50, we have a bunch. Cool. Okay, so the card is working as expected, but I want to change the way that it's actually laid out. So we can see that what I want to see when we are in the smaller, I actually want to have only one card. So this one needs to be deleted. We have like card like that. So what I'm going to be doing in medium, my width is going to be 1/2. As you can see, probably we can change the medium to small. Perfect. So you will see that in extra small, or when you're in a phone, it looks like this, and when you're like in a bigger screen, you're something like this. And then we can do probably a large screen or medium screen. We can do with over 1/3, and we can do probably later in a large screen a width of 1/4. No, probably XL, extra large. So you will see that it's going to be 1, and then jumps to 2, and then jumps to 3. Actually, that jumps from 1 to 2, it gets too big. So this one actually can be let's actually do this. So you get 1, and then get out of, you need to be 2, sorry. Get to 2, and then we can do that in extra large. It's actually 4. So that means that in large, we can actually do 1/3. and this just to be okay, perfect. An extra large 4. So without that, it get a little more responsive design. We are going to be showing only the cards that we need, depending the sizing of the screen, and I believe that's perfect. So that's one of the pretty cool that we can actually render depending on the sizing and how different ways we need to have in the application, or in this particular case in our card. So that's pretty cool. So something extra that I want to add is all this will show up only. Let's get pretty much our heroes. Our hero is going to be, sorry for this, okay, something really similar to this one. Get heroes. And we can actually define that my card, what is my card? It's right here. It's only one shop. Be if heroes dot length is bigger than 0. So with that one is not, we don't have heroes, we're not showing anything. That's fine. And we go to a store. Let's do that we have a hero with ID 1 and another hero ID of 2. So we have, this is actually a bigger sizing. Did get redder there, perfect. But now we need to make the repetition for hero in heroes, and the key is going to be my hero.id. So we see only 2, perfect. Actually we can do that, it's going to be only when search items and heroes length. So until we look for somebody, we're going to be showing those. I like that better. And let's do a chain over here. Let's create a tier 1. And we look for Thor. We have 3 heroes. Perfect. So when we know that getting and reading the heroes from the store is actually working. So let's get rid of this. And let's save it. And we have the repetition of the card. We have that one. Probably what we can add is the not found and the loading. Yeah. So there is a really cool spinner, I believe it's called. Yes. So this actually what it does is give you a way to actually have this rendering of these different elements in order to be integrated in an application, like a loading state. So let's actually use those. The way to use those is, let me open my terminal, new terminal, and inside my directory I will install the dependency yarn add the spinner. I will wait for a couple of minutes. Perfect. I close it. I don't need it to see it anymore. And just the way to use it is like this. So let's use the import section. Let's actually use the proof loader. Let's go to home. Let's import that. And let's register it. And we can actually put it just before the search items. and I believe we can put it over here. That will have that little loading state. That's pretty neat, right? We can actually do something like color equal teal, probably, and it have a little more descendant. Let me do red. Actually, it's not working. Let me look for colors. Let me look for the teals. And let's have this 500 teal. So let's do this one. There you go. Now it's getting a little more according that we have here. Let's also, I believe we can play with the size. Yes, we can play with the size. So let's actually start playing with the size. Wow. Let's do size equal, I don't know, 48. It looks like it got a little bit bigger. Let's do 96. Let me refresh it. No. PX. Okay, yeah. Probably it's too big. Let's do 48 pixels. And let's change it. I don't know if we can use for EMs. That's the element that we're using pretty much. Yeah, it looks better. But let's do a 2. Yeah, I like that one. Cool. So the only things that we'll add it, class is going to be margin top of 2, but we have that separation. Let's do a 4. So that is going to happen whenever we look for somebody. Okay, I believe this will need to be perfect. So the way to have it is to have another computer element that is going to be our loading state, and our loading state is going to be pretty much get loading, and we'll say that, but we can say it here. Well, we can say it over here. Yes, here. Just show it only when you're loading. So by default, it's going to be false. You go to again to the store and change the loading to true. Didn't work. Oh, it's not get loading, it's called is loading. So let me go to the getter. It's actually is loading. There you go. That's true. If I change my store to false, it's not there. Perfect. So that get pretty much done in there. Let me, what else we can do in the home view? Oh, they're not found. Not found. And that's actually called get not found. And the thing that we're going to put in there is after search item for something here, and to have another one that will have pretty much like not found, and it will show it only not found. So let's look something like this, showing for Tor. Let's see that Tor doesn't exist. Let me change my store and change my not found to true. So not found is there, so we can actually say something. Okay, nothing showed from form there. Yeah, it's pretty much what I need. But instead of doing that, what I want to change this a little bit is, let me just copy an image that I have. So let me do something like, give me a minute. So I have a not found GIF file, and what I've been doing with that not found, I need to import it. So I need to import my not found image. I need to have that data. So let me do my bdata that pretty much rendered that not found image. And what I want to do with my not found image is something really simple. That is, so this is going to be image class, and it's going to render my not found image, but this need to be binded, and here I'm going to put like not found. Perfect. So we have this as false, nothing is there, but if this is true, perfect. I believe I have the perfect image. So if we're looking for something that doesn't exist, we have the perfect opportunity to use a GIF meme. So I believe we have pretty much the whole layout for the basic one. So we need to change what setting the heroes is actually doing for us. So let's actually go back to our code. Let's pretty much save everything, and we'll say that staged everything and home layout finish. Yeah, it's a little messy, I know, sorry for that, but I just want to give you like, know that scaffolding application and learn to understand the different sections that's actually happening there. So we know that pretty much with search item, we're just dispatching, setting a search, and let's actually start doing the search over there. So when we dispatch this, we're actually doing this, and we're committing that search item. Let me just create like something like this. So we're going to do the search item. We are going to commit also or loading, and it's going to be to true by default. So whenever we look for somebody, the loading should be showing there. Perfect. And let's do a set timeout. You actually don't need to do that. I just like creating like a timeout function that after 2 seconds it's going to change the loading to false. So the idea is to look for something. It's going to start loading those elements, and then the loading it need to be removed. That's pretty much the moment that we need to do. So that's why I put that one. So that's going to be the process. Now we can start looking at our API. and our API will be using Axios. Axios is a really cool library that will allow us to create, well, no, these Axios. HTML request. The way to add it is just yarn add Axios. And from here, the only things that I need to do is I will create in my source directory a helpers directory and my Axios.js. In my Axios, I will just import Axios from Axios, and I will do export const export default Axios.create, and we're going to create something with Axios. So we just need to have our base URL pointing to something, and then we can actually import it, and that base URL is going to be the base for our location. So we know that our base URL, we go to the top, it's actually this one with our access token, but there's a trick over here that I find it later, so it's just working with this particular, or actually URL is, and let's use, you know what, let's actually use the environmental file. So let's do view app URL and do API URL equal to this, and you can actually put your token over there. So let me actually pause the video right now, and let me add my token in there. Forget. So our base URL is going to be something like base API. This is important, and it's just for this case. It doesn't happen anywhere else. So there is actually an issue with the API, and you need to create that .php / information there. That's the way that needs to be done. And then the other way will be put like you can actually put your token over here. Whatever number that you have, you save it, and this will be enough, pretty much. So in my case, let me just hide my secret, and let me paste my token. Let's see if it actually doesn't get revealed. Actually, perfect, and I can save it. And now my token is actually validated. I can actually use that my base URL is going to be my process.env.view_app_API URL. I believe we save it like that. Let me check. Yes, API URL. Actually, here is my secret. I just have it hidden, so you are not actually able to see it, but that is already there. And remember, it needs to be api.php / the access token that you get from the website. So we can actually put that one over there. Let's actually do const API equal to that, and we can actually export actually the search element. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating a create element, and then in my API I'm just searching with a search item to my base URL for what I like search. It's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm not exporting that as a function. So I can actually start working on doing something about it. So let me go to my store, and in my store actually can have import the search that we have it from, and that one is on my one level behind called per axis. So I imported my search, and what I've been doing here is I'm changing the loading to true. This actually needs to be, you know what? I will call my dispatch too, and I will dispatch my set heroes. Very much. No, actually no, sorry. Oh, I'm not doing that. So I'm sorry. So when we're searching an item, we save that item in the store. We set in the loading to true. The next step is going to be searching for that element. So this function needs to be a synchronous function because getting to the API is going to take some time. That way we can actually wait for getting some heroes. So I can actually do something like this. So we're getting the heroes. It's going to be a wait doing that searching. And we know that the way that searching actually goes, we have some results element, and the result is an array. So that's pretty much what we need. So we can actually do something like this. If hero.data.results, so if the data element exists and the results element exists, we need to do something about it, or we need to do something different. So what we'll be doing is, if that exists, we're going to setting our heroes. Actually, we can do just the dispatch. Let's do a dispatch. Set heroes. So the hero is going to be the one committing to our setting heroes. If not, we're going to change or not found to true, and actually need to be a dispatch. Yeah, so pretty much we set the search item, we change the loading state to true, we look for the heroes and we're waiting. Actually, when we finish that, we need to remove our loading, that is actually need to be false, and then we will reply with information for the heroes, or we're going to reply that not found. Very much. Let's see if that actually works. So let me look for Tor. That stays there, and something happened that never finished. Oh, I know what happened there. Because we changed our environmental file, we need to close our application and run our development environment again. So those env files is going to be cached up, very much. Perfect, so I can refresh it and look for Tor, and it gave me 3 different elements. Perfect. And we saw that the payload is there. If I see my state, I see that I have Lex Luthor. Oh, I'm looking for Tor. I saw that I have Tor by itself, and I saw that I have Torger. So it's actually working. If I do something that doesn't exist, let me do something random. Yeah, so that should be there. Perfect. So something different. When we set up this one, our heroes need to be empty. So we need to do that. and if we do Superman, we need to remove or not found. So let's actually do those changes. So whenever we do a new search and we are loading, the first thing that we need to do before actually loading is change the not found to false. That way we are resetting. So we look for Tor, that's there, with something doesn't exist. We give it that, and it goes back to something that exists, like Superman. The not found, it gets removed. But now when we have that random, we need to get rid of these ones. So the way to do it is pretty much, we can do this one and dispatch the set heroes to an empty array. Pretty much. So we're going to do this and do this other two. So if we look for Tor, we will look for something that's random, and if we look for Superman, that get rendered. Perfect. So now every element is getting read as it's supposed to. What we need to do now, we need to send that information to our card. So our card is actually starting showing the info that we need. So let's do that. So let's commit this one, kind of like a API call done. And in our hub element, we already have our card, we have access to our hero, so we can actually type our hero element to the hero that we're saving. So let's save that hero over there. Of course, doing that will require that our card accept a props called hero that is going to be an object, and because I'm being lazy right now, the default is going to be an empty object. That's it. Okay. Something really quick. We know that the hero name, and we can actually see it over here, is going to be hero.name. So we can actually do hero.name. So we saw those over there. So you do look for Tor. Let's look for Tor gear. All right. Perfect. That is getting there. So we're able to save that information. Cool. Now, what I need to send, I want to work with the image. So we have the image element.url with the image, and I want to render that image here. So this is going to be binded, and I'm going to be binded to let's do this hero.image.url. Boom, done. Let me create this a little bit bigger. There you go. Look for Tor. How awesome this look, right? Superman. Nick, I don't know. There you go. Oh, you give us like Silver's name and Nick Fury stuff. Oh, pretty cool. So this API is actually working, and we're showing that whenever like empty, yeah, it's not showing anybody, right? Perfect. So look for Tor again, and it's doing what it's supposed to. Cool. So let's actually start adding the rest of the information. Because I'm being lazy again, what I want to be doing in my card, so I have the hero image, hero name, and then I want to have for the description itself, I will be working with several places. I'm doing this because I already saw the API, and the API, I saw what elements is being said that. So I will remove this and I will create this one. So I'm saving 3 different div elements. So the first element is getting the full name from the biography. So getting like the real name of the person or the hero. The second one, it just get me the different aliases. So when the hero have different aliases, I know that the alias is actually came in an array. So I might just create a simple function that just add like a comma to every alias at the end, if that the alias is bigger than 0. That's it. And I'm saving the publisher in order to know from where that specific hero came from. So we saw that Lex Luthor, named Lex Luthor, does have alias, and it came from DC Comics. Thor Odinson, alias is Donald Blake, Sigurd Jarlon, Jack Olsen, Donald the Mighty, and Ron King Thor. Perfect. A Marvel comic for Thor girl. Nice. So probably this is not completely true, but it's how the API actually gives the information. So that's another thing. So let's do Superman. So Superman Prime 1 million and DC Comics. Yes. Let's do another one, like for example, Hero. So I don't know if you saw the Hero series, NBC. So it's doing what it's supposed to, and it gives you the information the way that it's supposed to. You saw that little loading there, so the application is working fine. Let's Spider. There you go. So we have from Marvel Comics, Spider Carnage, and everything. Now I want to do something about this something. I want to put like green if the character is a good guy, red is a bad guy, and I want to do yellow if that actually character is like a neutral. So that information is actually came in, I believe, biography alignment. So if we do biography alignment, we can actually define if that character is actually good or bad. And I will get back with my something that I created before. Let me change this span element. I'll do it like this. Let me remove this extra space. Perfect. Now we have good, we have a bad one over here. Spider Carnage is bad, the rest is good. Perfect. Hero. No, doesn't exist. Hero. Wall. Let's see. This Stephen Wall is bad, the rest is actually good. Spider. We got those one over there. Captain. So it's a Captain called it neutral because it's like an anti-hero. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So we can actually see that that's actually working. How I make this work? Well, really simple. So if the alignment is good, I just put everything in teal colors. If that's bad, I put everything in red. If those actually, none of those actually happen, I send everything to yellow. As simple as that. So we can actually see the reactivity in order to get the information the way that we need it. Pretty cool, right? So I want to do an extra thing. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but let me see if I can actually have something like this. There you go. Let's add some really cool animation. Captain Epic. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, Captain Planet, I remember that one. So now what I did here, and this came actually from Tailwind too. So I added my transform element, like easy need, easy now, is just like a way to do it. In 300 milliseconds, we have the animation that will scale up 10% more when I hover over. That's it. So you can actually have the kind of animation whenever you hover something. Let me do a smaller group, and you'll see that hovering is still happening there. And I believe pretty neat to have it, right? Sorry, I get excited about this thing. So we have pretty much our flown application, almost. So the only thing that is missing here is we're going to need to send everybody to the path, and this needs to be dynamic, the binded. The path needs to be hero, and the query need to be actually, how can I have it here? Give me a minute. No, let's keep it simpler. What I want to do, and let me just put this backlit over here, and it's going to be sent to hero /, and I will send my parameter that's going to be my hero.id. That way, if I click this one, hero 660 is being sent. This one, hero 659, and 405. So the links is actually working. Let me save it. And I believe I have my home finished. And this video has been long, so I will stop right now. And next one we're going to do the different details page. That's going to be quicker. So I hope that you like it. Happy coding, everybody.